Decision time for one girl. An islander is dumped from the villa.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Love Island USA Season 4 Episode 12. And look like as quickly as some of these folks recoupled, look like a couple of folks are getting played in this episode. So we're going to unpack this, plus somebody do get dumped. So before we jump into this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel and don't forget to like and share. So without further ado, let's unpack all of this drama. So as we remember, Timmy had a two-way connection with both Bria and Zeta. He kissed both of them in the same day. And then Bria had somewhat of a connection with the new bombshell, Jeff, which kind of sent her going in multiple directions too, still while Zeta was still feeling Timmy. Yeah, it was real messy. Then that leads us to this whole recoupling where it left us on a cliffhanger because we already saw that Sydney and Isaiah coupled up. We saw that Chaz and Serenity coupled up, which also led us to both Deb and Jesse coupling up. And then it left us with Zeta. So Zeta made this whole speech about, somebody that she have a connection with. And, I got to choose myself and all of this good stuff. And somewhat you can tell by the faces, Jeff knows she wasn't talking about him. And probably Bria thought the same thing because Jeff only been in the villa probably less than a day and a half. So she made this big speech about somebody that she barely knows. Anyway, she ended up choosing Jeff. Of course, that puts a smile on Bria's face because that leaves the pathway wide open for her to get to Timmy. And when that happens, you can tell she was trying to stick it to Timmy by the look she had on her face when she got with Jeff and hugged him and kissed him and all of that, which you can tell also made Timmy feel some kind of way. Now he got in his feelings because of course he didn't like what he saw. And she was saying how, I don't want to feel like a mug and I have to choose me. Well, that's what she claimed to do. Bria now, it's her turn. She ended up coupling up with Timmy as well once again, which you can tell now she's in her feelings about that, even though she already made her choice. It's Maddie's turn now. Maddie ended up choosing to couple up with Andy, which she said she wasn't going to give him a second chance, but okay. And then that left Courtney, who had to decide between Bryce and Felipe, which I think at some point Felipe thought it was going to be him, but then she ended up coupling up with Bryce, which is the new guy that came in with Jeff. So he was very disappointed. I don't think he thought that he was going to be leaving this soon. I actually didn't think that either, but yeah, it's it for him. So he had 30 minutes to pack up and get ready to leave the island. So far, Courtney has gotten rid of Andy and now Felipe. So if I was Bryce, I probably would kind of hopefully keep an eye out for that. But she did say a very nice goodbye. She said she also made the right choice. And I guess we got to see what's going on with Felipe on the outside. He didn't get to stay that long, but he appreciated his journey, and it is what it is. He was dumped from the island. So now we see both Andy and Maddie having their conversation. Maddie was like, look, I'm going to give you a second chance. Don't screw it up. So she put him on notice, and he was like, you know what? I'm good. Hey, I'm going to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not going to flounder around like before. And then Courtney is having a conversation with Bryce. Bryce is overly excited about how he's happy to be in a coupling. He feels that they are extremely compatible because he's a financial advisor or something, and she has her own business. I can see that. I just think that there's a communication issue. Now, she wants somebody emotionally intelligent, but what was interesting, she instantly grabbed him and started kissing him. I don't think he expected that kiss, but he didn't pull away either. So that kind of gave him the reassurance that he needed, and she enjoyed the fact that he is so intelligent that she wanted him to see her and not just for what she looks like in the physicality. Then we had the conversation with Zeta and Jeff. And, she was pretty much excited to be coupled up with him. And he was like, you know what? I'm here for you. I'm not thinking about turning my head. And I'm like, dude, don't speak too soon. But hey, if he's all in right now, he's all in right now. The question is whether Zeta is all in. Because as much as she was kikiing and smiling and laughing with Jeff, across the villa was the whole intimate conversation and smooching between Bria and Timmy. And while all that was going on, she was watching every minute of it. And, I know that Jeff had to notice all of that. So, at that moment he was okay. But as the episode goes on, he's not going to be happy about all this. So then Timmy has a conversation with Isaiah about Zeta's speech. And he was like, that speech right there, I thought that sounded more like me than it did Jeff. She really don't know Jeff. Jeff haven't been in here long enough for her to give that kind of speech to him. And Isaiah didn't say much, but he did say, yeah, dude, I don't think that was about him. I think that was all about you. So then we have this conversation that's going on between Zeta and Courtney. And Zeta is pretty much saying, you know what, I don't want to feel like a mud. I made my choice. I'm happy with my choice. And, as much as I made my choice, I still have an interest in him, And Courtney is like, you know what, I want Zeta and Timmy to be back together. She's not herself when she's not with him. She's a different person. So her energy is off, But hey, she made her choice, and in the process of making this choice, part of her misses him, which brings on this whole scene in the beach hut where she's crying her eyes out about a guy that she chose not to get back with. So yeah, she's stuck in a pickle whether to figure out what to do with Jeff or what to do with Timmy. So now they had this brunch. And it was kind of interesting. We saw this scene with Jesse talking to Deb, and Deb don't like orange juice, which shocked Jesse. Then this conversation with Chaz and Serenity, and I don't know if she is feeling him. She said that she always dated skinny dudes, but she liked the fact that he's kind of on the thick side. Then this interesting conversation between Sydney and Isaiah. And Isaiah said something very unexpected that put a smile on Sydney's face. Check this out.
She's so fucking funny. I love you.
Bro.
So yeah, he let it slip out to Sydney that he loves her. Now, I don't know if this is too soon, but it's going to be interesting to see if he actually means it. And then we have a conversation, of course, with Courtney and Bryce. And this whole emotional intelligence thing is really, he's winning brownie points with that. Then we have Bria and Timmy. Now, their conversation is going on pretty smooth. However, somebody's conversation isn't. And that's the conversation between Jeff and Zeta. And Jeff is picking up on some energy and a vibe that shows that it's a little bit off. And a lot of that is due to the fact that she wants to be with Timmy. And that's just so unfortunate because, it seemed like Jeff really likes her and he was really trying to cheer her up, but it wasn't necessarily working in that moment. So Sydney had to brag about her new news to Deb about the fact that Isaiah told her that he loves her. Again, I'm wondering if this is too soon, but she is really falling for the guy, as what she said in the beach hut. And like I said, I just hope that he actually means it. It's a strong word. So this is an interesting conversation. It actually started off with Serenity trying to help Jeff drink through a straw with that Love Island bottle, juice or liquid bottle. Well, he finally figured it out. But he also had a conversation with Serenity about the fact that he's feeling like, this ain't going well with Zeta. And while that's going on, Zeta is sneaking in the room trying to get a conversation out of Timmy, and being that he's sleeping, she's like, can we at least talk one-on-one later? And he was up for it. And I mean, he gotta be feeling some kind of way. And because, I figured that the male ego, that's not gonna sit well with him. So now they have this challenge, the Mr. and Mrs. challenge. And so pretty much at this moment, we see them trying to get all their answers straight. What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite sex position? So they can remember everything by the time the game actually starts. And of course, whoever, get the highest score win Mr. and Mrs., based on the couple that they're in. So, they had every question from how many children do you want to how many sex partners, have you had, or body count. They talked about sexual positions. They also talked about, certain foods, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. Now, I will say, like I said, what really stuck out to me is this, which was a question about who you would sleep with or be with outside of your coupling. Zeta's name came out of Bria's mouth and Timmy's mouth, and Jeff didn't like that. His facial reactions were priceless. And it was almost as if he would say, like, don't y'all see me sitting here? I mean, you pretty much saying that you coming in hot trying to be with the girl that I'm interested in and who I'm coupled up with. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's like, and the thing is, it would be one thing, I guess, if Zeta was like, hey, I'm in a coupling, back off, but she was entertaining it. So that didn't sit well. Then they went into stuff like middle names and stuff like that. But it got messy. It got real messy in this Mr. and Mrs. challenge. And my thing is, like Jeff said in this episode, if you want that man, go get your man. Don't have me in the middle of this. Don't use me. I don't want to be bothered with none of this. Leave me out of it. And I think, honestly, they shouldn't have coupled up with other people if they really wanted to be with each other. Now, the girls had the power. Of course, Zeta chose Jeff when she truly knew that she wanted to be with Timmy. Now, granted, Timmy had an interest with Bria, but that's the thing about this show. It's a possibility that you have the opportunity to explore multiple connections. And in this case, she really wants that man. And I'm kind of like Jeff. You want that dude, you need to go get him. Go get him. Don't be playing me in the process to make him feel jealous. And I honestly think that Timmy is playing Bria as well to make Zeta feel jealous. They both are doing the exact same thing with the people that they're in, and that's technically not fair. And looks like in Tuesday night's episode, somebody about to get hurt. Check it out. So there we have it. Look like Bria might suffer a little bit of something. I'm assuming it's related to Timmy and this whole thing with Zeta. And the hideaway is open. I don't even know if we really got solid couples except for maybe Isaiah and Sydney, who might get to go in that hideaway. I'm not sure, but okay, we'll have to see. But yeah, these folks are getting played. Bria's getting played. Jeff is getting played because both Zeta and Timmy want to be with each other, but because the way, I mean, they're just trying to make each other jealous by being in these other couplings. And just get back together and figure out y'all stuff. That's all you got to do. But we'll see what happened this week. So I hope you enjoyed this recap. Take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And please don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.